Wow, look at me driving an automatic vehicle. Thought I'd never learn. Okay. Well, here we go. Hi.
Hello.
We're back with a surprise.
I guess it's a surprise, yeah.
It was a surprise for us.
It was.
What are we driving, you might wonder? Well, this is our new truck.
Sure is.
This is my first time driving the truck, and I think I'm doing okay.
So far, so good.
So, we've got some splaining to do.
Yes. So my 99 Silverado, the one with 211,000 miles, that's gotten us through a lot of, I wouldn't say tough times, but it's been a very useful vehicle for us since we got it. It's always had problems, but I've always been able to kind of keep ahead of it and keep it inspected legally every year, so on and so forth. I put a really loud muffler on it and it was kind of getting annoying, so I had purchased a new muffler that was going to be quieter, and I was starting to get it ready to be installed. So one day I went underneath the truck and I was looking at the exhaust and I was going to start cutting pieces off so I could put the new muffler in, and I happened to look at the frame and it was cracked real bad. I had been doing a lot of work on it. I had done some frame work in the very, very back when I installed the tow hitch and the new bumper. Didn't see any of this damage. It wasn't cracked through. It was rusty, but it wasn't like rusted through. It was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'll, check it every once in a while. Well, this year, not even 6 months later, I check it and it's cracked through on one side, and then the other side was even worse.
Yeah, so the rate of cracking is concerning there. He told me that, and also I didn't realize you were going to put on a quieter muffler. That's very grown up of you. Was it because I almost sprained my eyes rolling them every time you drove the truck? When he said the frame was cracked, I was like, well, duh, that's what happens with those trucks. Don't you know anything about cars? I didn't realize that he meant it was cracked so bad that he wasn't going to be driving it.
Right, the driver's side crack is much longer, and it actually was bad enough where I could grab two pieces of the frame and move them with my hand and see the crack get bigger and smaller.
So we had to make a decision, and what we decided was that we had gotten our $1,200 worth with this truck. It had gotten us out of a pinch. I didn't like driving it. She was special. The STI always needs a little bit of love. We want to be able to take our time with that car. The Outback is getting up there in miles. There's various upgrades we want to do, and let's be realistic, there's going to be some maintenance stuff to do. We were like, all right, let's buy a more reliable vehicle than our old modified Subies, paid off Subies, right? Yes. We were riding that high for a long time, so we're like, you know what, let's just get something newer that we can keep bone stock. Have it, be there as a backup for us. And I said, okay, if we're gonna go that route, I want it to be something I want to drive as well. Not that I'm picky, but just a little picky. So the choice there was, do we get me a new car? And so my new car is already picked out. I want a new STI. I say that, I don't know if we're going to buy new off the lot, or there's the wide body hatch that I've always been in love with. Maybe we track one of those down. If any of you know of one, hit us up. But we decided not to go that route, because do we really need 3 turbo Subarus that are kind of all the same car in various states? Right. Probably not. So it was either that or the truck. We ended up picking a truck.
So Laura said, I want it to be nicer. My old truck didn't have air conditioning. It didn't have power windows. It didn't really have any amenities. The heat didn't work very well.
Well, I just tried to downshift.
Oh, yeah. So she said newer than 10 years old. Okay, no problem. So I started looking at 2011 and newer. She wanted it to be in good condition, so I started looking for trucks that were less than 60,000 miles. Yeah. She said she wanted it to be nice. I agreed, so I started looking at like higher trim packages of all of the trucks I was looking at.
I wanted a back seat, so if I was like, bopping around, driving to work, getting groceries, whatever, I would have basically a car, not just like, a truck. But on top of that, my other qualification, was it needs to be future proof. I wanted it to be suitable for any truck stuff in the future. So what that means is I kind of want a boat. We've talked about campers, we've talked about projects and side hustles and that sort of thing that all could require towing things, and I was like, we're not going to get a truck now only to find out it's not enough truck for something down the road. So I mean, my poor husband, I told him make sure he gets a big enough truck, you know.
Right, and the other thing was all the house projects that I do and things like that, I need to be able to grab lumber or appliances or whatever. I first started looking at both Colorado Canyons as well as Silverados and Sierras. I had a Chevy before. We've both had a lot of GM vehicles in the past. Our families have also, so we're very comfortable with GM.
I have some personal stereotypes at PTSD. My grandfather, my late grandfather, who I thought very highly of when I was a child, told me that Ford stands for fall on road dead. And I'm not talking crap about Fords, I'm really not. But when that gets into your head as a child, you're a little bit like indoctrinated. So I've been Team Chevy since I was very, very young.
I've also, in my past, been very anti-Ford, and not even for any particular reason, because it's not like my parents bestowed that on me. My grandparents actually drove Fords, but for some reason when I was in high school I was pro Camaro, Corvette, so I didn't like Mustangs. Therefore that turned into me not liking Ford pickups. I don't really know why. I did go through a period where I was obsessed with Dodge Rams and said they were my favorite truck, and anytime my parents would drive around I would point out every Dodge Ram on the road.
But you were like 7, right? Anyway, weird indoctrination going on. We were leaning Chevy from the beginning.
Right. I didn't look at Ford at any point in time. I'm sure anybody that gets a newer Ford truck will be totally happy with it, not knocking it at all.
Trucks
but it just wasn't
nice
our.
days,
They
like...
are. I looked at Dodge Rams for like a day because of my childhood having really liked them. I thought it would be cool. I like the way they look, and they are very nice. A lot of the automotive journalists say that they have the best interiors and amenities of any of the modern trucks. So I did take a look, and they were comparable with options and pricing for the things that I was looking for in the Chevy models. And I just decided I was more comfortable with the Silverado platform. So.
Aesthetically though, the newer Rams have that really aggressive ramp on the tailgate. That's just a lot for me. So maybe just a slight.
That is true. Chevy's just as bad with like the Trail Boss and some of the other packages.
Well, I think so we need to get into that next. So we were between a Colorado and a Silverado.
Yes.
Obviously Silverado is kind of like the default, like you're gonna get a Chevy truck, Silverado is going to be in the running. So we were thinking Colorado. There's a diesel option that he was into. So we went to a local dealer. We weren't going to buy anything, but we just wanted to see it. As soon as we walked up to the one Colorado they had on the lot, I was like, nope, too small. The bed is tiny. It felt tight inside, and it immediately ruled itself out when we were like trying to future-proof our truck needs. Like, you weren't going to get very much lumber in the back of that. I believe my words were, if you're going to buy a truck, buy a truck.
Right. Very quickly we ruled out the Colorado, so then I just focused all of my efforts on the Silverado platform. They changed body styles in 2014, so I started looking at 2014 and up, just because I didn't really want the end of the last gen before that. I wanted, again, looking for 60,000 miles or less. So I started seeing numbers out there. I realized if I wanted to get any of these trucks, even if I got one that had like just enough of the options we wanted, air conditioning, I forget what else, like a towing package. I wanted a V8 for sure, just, you know, for towing and things like that. I realized I was going to be spending $28,000, $30,000 on it. So at that point I said, you know what, if I'm spending $30,000 on a vehicle, I'm going to find exactly what we want. We both discussed wanting black, so I decided to only look at black trucks. I found that the higher package with the leather seats and some of the extra amenities, the LTZ option, had an optional large 6.2 liter V8 engine with 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. So I decided I wanted to look for that one specifically.
Yeah.
So I found two of these. One was a 14, one was a 15, one was in Ohio. The 15 was in Ohio, the 14 was in Pennsylvania.
Reminder, we live in New York.
We live in New York, so they were a ways away. So we got to the point where we had like a serious discussion one night of, do you really want to get the truck instead of the STI? Laura thought about it for like a day, and she said, yes, okay, go ahead.
Which was the most selfless thing I have ever done in my life.
I mean, I thought it was pretty selfless for me to even offer it, because at that point you were pro, just go ahead and get the truck.
Also, are we idiots for being like, do we want another STI?
And being a serious consideration.
Let us know. Are we idiots? It's fine. We know. We know already.
So, found these two trucks. Laura gave the okay to start looking at them.
Well, he told me that this particular package came with cooled seats. And that had me on board immediately.
I found these two trucks. I reached out to the dealership in Ohio. They still had it in stock. I was very happy. I was working with one particular person who said they weren't going to be in until like 1 p.m. that day. So I was waiting to hear back, and then I finally got a call from someone and they said, oh, I didn't see the vehicle in the inventory. Turns out they had sold it that weekend before. That's what happens when you're looking at vehicles out of the town. If you don't get there right away, there's no guarantee that the dealership's going to hold it for you for any reason, unless you actually like put a deposit down. Then I turned my sights on the other one in Pennsylvania, which is ultimately the truck that we ended up purchasing. I had the salesman send me a bunch of pictures of the truck on a lift, engine bay pictures. It was a one-owner truck. It only had 45,000 miles on it, so this person only put like 6,000-ish miles a year on this truck. It was in perfect condition from what I could see in the pictures. No reports of any accidents in the Carfax. The interior looked good. It looked like it was completely bone stock.
No rust.
No rust. So I decided on the phone, did a little bit back and forth, decided on a price with the dealer, ended up paying $34,000 for this truck. The value was set by KBB at like 38 grand, so I think I did okay.
Yeah.
Luckily it all worked out. Like 2 weeks after I put a deposit down on it, we were able to get down to the Pittsburgh area. It was like a 5-hour drive. We get down there, the truck looked like it did in the pictures. It drove fine. I didn't see any problems with it. I ended up buying an extended warranty with the truck just because it does have all these accessories and everything. I didn't want to take the chance of something going wrong and then either having to worry about fixing it myself or just paying a lot of money. So I got that. So it is a 2014 Silverado 1500 LTZ trim package. It is a double cab, so it's a small 4-door. It's not small by any means, but there is a quad cab, which is the full-size back seat. Those are even longer. This one is considered the double cab. It's got really small back seats, but they are full 4 doors, so we can put a lot of stuff back there. It has
navigation, heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel, perforated leather. It's got a Bose sound system. It has like lane departure warnings in it. It's got remote start.
I'm not sure what else. It's basically as loaded can get. It was exactly what I wanted. Fully loaded, all the amenities, low mileage, really well taken care of, big engine.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy with this truck. We've owned it for, 2 weeks now. We've already done a couple smallish road trips. My family did a thing for my sister's birthday like an hour and a half away. We were able to put 2 kayaks in the bed and then fill the back seat up with our suitcases. It did great. It has the displacement on demand where it'll deactivate 4 of the cylinders while you're driving.
We're currently driving on 4 cylinders, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and we're getting an average of 21.1 miles to the gallon for the last 50 miles.
Which is a good thing because he filled up earlier, and I almost died. It cost $83.14 to fill up this gas tank.
Does it as a big tank, so we'll see how it goes. We're excited to have it. If we need to tow anything, I think it'll tow up to like 9,500 pounds, so we're not going to get anywhere close to that anytime soon, but if we do, we have the capability. So we'll keep you guys informed. I'm not going to modify this anytime soon. We did talk about all the chrome stuff. I'm not super pumped about. I don't always like chrome. It does look good. It's balanced, so it's not like an ugly truck by any means, but we did talk about potentially blacking out some of the chrome, maybe not all of it. Other than that, I'm not going to modify it anytime soon, at least through the 5-year warranty period. if not beyond that, because it's great as is. It's
it
quick.
really doesn't need it, honestly.
It looks good, so hopefully I can just throw like tires and brakes at this for a long time and just be happy with it.
Yeah. So my initial review.
Yeah. What do you think of driving it so far?
Yeah, it is kind of quick, isn't it? So this is the first time I've driven anything that's A, automatic, and B, not turbocharged in...
Since before you bought your Outback.
Yeah, it's a little weird that it's automatic, I will say.
I'm still getting used to driving it.
I don't think I'm gonna convert anytime soon, but I like it for what it is. I mean, it's definitely easy to drive. I feel like I'm so high up in the air. I don't fully get the appeal of like sitting up high as people like to. I feel like I cannot feel where the road is. It is so far away. I might as well be like floating above it.
Yeah, I still miss parking lots, or parking spots in parking lots, and I'm working on that, but it'll take some practice.
I know, I am not going to be backing this up anytime soon, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a nice truck. It's beautiful inside. It's been really hot, and the cooled seats are amazing.
They are. Really glad we have those.
Really just dries the sweat off your back. It's disgusting, but it's true. So yeah, that's the truck. Stay tuned for more about it. And of course, having the truck allows us to focus on other projects.
Yeah.
So maybe a little Outback brake upgrade. Maybe whatever the STI needs next. Yup. Anyway, that's our new truck.
Yes, thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.